cooking demonstration. I am going to do a whole dinner today. I want to say I hate moving. I can't find my tripod, so I currently have my phone in a cup. So I apologize for any like wobbliness or anything of the video. So I was gonna do this live, but I didn't get enough likes, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do what I'm gonna cook and just make it a video. So let me grab the phone. Like I said, sorry for all the wobbliness. So we are going, I am going to cook some oyster mushrooms. I got a few oyster mushrooms here. Mashed burros with some gravy. I got my grapeseed oil here. Got all my seasonings, salt, black seed, cayenne, oregano, thyme, onion powder, tarragon. I got my flour, garbanzo bean, and buckwheat. I usually make my, and forgot about my water. And I got my Crystal Geyser water. Got my kale in the sink. Oh, can you see? I'm gonna make kale chips. And I got my cast iron griddle, cast iron skillet. I usually make my flour using teff, but I do not have any teff right now, so I'm going to try it with the buckwheat and the garbanzo. And I forgot to get the onion out, so hold on one moment. I have an onion. Ta-da! Okay, so let's get this party started. I think the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to clean my kale so I can make my kale chips. So that can be, I can get that started. I'm not going to use all this kale because I don't need all the kale. So hopefully you can see. I'll move that back just a little bit so you can see me cleaning the kale. So how I do my kale chips. Just take the stems off. Clean my kale real good. And you can take this back piece off right here if you want. Totally up to you. I'm just gonna place it on the cast iron griddle for now. And I know you've seen like kale chips at the grocery store or at some of the vegan shops and stuff like that, but when you look at it, it has a whole bunch of other stuff inside of it. I need some more kale. So this is just the way we make our kale chips, with a little oil and some seasoning, and that's it. I think I want one more, a little bitty one. So that's that. So I got my my kale on a cast iron griddle, as you can see, and I just pray my phone does not fall because, like I said, I have it on top inside of a cup. What I do is I'll usually, and sometimes I do this in a bowl, and sometimes I, do it right inside the thing. But I take a little grapeseed oil and just kind of, you see that? Oh, wait a minute. There's a shadow. This is awful. And just pour just a smidget of grapeseed oil on the leaves. Now I'm going to take the leaves and if I can just prevent the shadow, I'm going to take the leaves and I'm just going to massage the oil on the leaves. So just make sure you get the leaves good and oily, because you don't want them to dry out too quickly. And I usually have seasonings already made up, but I bought some seasonings from Chef Shan. He made me some of this delicious seasoning, so I'm going to use some of this. I'm going to use some of this. So what I do is I just take and sprinkle some seasoning. This is a horrible picture. Sprinkle the seasoning on there. I think I'm gonna turn another light on. Aha, we have light. Sprinkle the seasoning on the kale, and then you just, once again, you're gonna massage the seasonings in the kale. And the leaves may break up a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna take and put these leaves right here on this cast iron griddle. And as you can see, it's just right on top of the cast iron griddle, and it's gonna cook. And I have a gas stove, so the gas stove typically cooks a little faster than the electric. So, and I already preheated the oven, and I put this on like 325 because, like I said, it cooks fast. And I'm gonna put it on the top shelf because I have some other stuff to cook too. So, in the oven, probably can't see it. So, now we're going to do the burros. So I'm making, like I said, I'm making mashed burros. And I'm not sure if any of you all know what burros are, but they're a cooking banana. And when they're yellow, you can make desserts with them. And they kind of look like a plantain. So when you are making mashed burros, you're going to steam you're going to steam it. So I have a steamer. So what I usually do is, let me get my cutting board out, is I'll take my burros. Like I said, I apologize for the horrible picture. Smooth this plastic up. So I take my burros, and what I'll do is I'll cut the tip off, just the tip. So I cut the little tip off of it so it'll fit inside of the steamer. So here is the basket, and then when I say steamer, this is like a vegetable steamer. So here's the steamer, here's the basket, and what I'll usually do is, let me hold this back so you can see, I cook it with the spring water as well. So I'll just pour some water in here at the bottom. Pour some water in. Make sure it's not too much. And then take my burros, place them in here. As you can see, the burros are in here, so just place it like that. Put the lid on and turn it on to steam. So this is, once the water starts boiling, it'll steam the burros and it'll make them soft, because right now the burros are hard. I don't know if you can see that these burros are hard, like they are really hard, not yielding at all. And this is what we make our fries with as well. So while that's cooking, now we're going to prep the oyster mushrooms. So I have to clean my oyster mushrooms. And when you clean your mushrooms, you don't submerge them in water. So I'm just going to separate them right now. So that way it'll be easier to clean them. Some people, they say they just, take a paper towel and wipe them down with. But I just, put some water on my burros because I know they're sitting in a box, and different people they have their hands on them picking the burros. Because I know when I pick my burros, I pick them up, and after touching the basket, the cart at the grocery store, and I'm picking which burros I want. So it can be pretty messy. So now I have a bowl of burros. So now we're going to go over to the sink, and we are going to clean our burros. And I'm going to put them in the plastic bag when I get done, because it's just easier that way, and then they're a little wet. So, and then I'll show you about the seasonings that I use. So I'm going to put this plastic bag right here. As you can see, it's open and waiting. So let's get these burros washed. Cold water, of course. And I just take my burro and just ever so slightly, because you don't want to submerge your burro in water or anything like that, or just letting it sit in water. I guess that is submerged, it's just not sitting in the water. So I'm just kind of washing it off just so you know a little bit. And I'm going to cook these whole as well. So we're just going to wash off all our burros. And burros, they should be pretty clean. They're not like filthy like the like some of the portobello or white mushrooms can be. So I like these. And these mushrooms have a nice meaty taste too. And you can also, if you want like a fishy taste with these mushrooms, instead of coating them with a batter, you can put like kelp on them and it'll get like a little seaweed taste. So but before we batter that, I want to prep my skillet because we are going to oven fry the burros. So what I usually do is I'll take my grapeseed oil and then I'll put some in whatever I'm going to cook. I'll just put some like that, and then just kind of, you know, it'll get all over the skillet. But I'm going to put this in the oven so that way it'll get hot. So when I put my oyster mushrooms in here, it won't stick to the skillet. So we're just going to stick that in the oven, let that get hot, and while we're waiting for that, I'm going to add my seasonings. And I'll put all of the directions, like how much seasonings, but it just depends on what seasonings you want, how much you want. Now, I will tell you that I am an onion powder freak. So, and a cayenne pepper freak. So what I do is I have my onion powder. So I'll just take, you know, a guava onion powder, just kind of put it on in there. And this is like a teaspoon, but you can use less or more. It's really up to you. So I just put 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And like I said, you can use as much as you want. And I'm going to use not the whole teaspoon of cayenne pepper because this is going to be really spicy. But it's okay because that's just the way I like it. And I also cook with black seed as well. So I just use some black seed, and it's like it mimics pepper. So put some black seed on there. Take a little salt. So it's pretty basic as far as the seasonings. Let's put a little salt in there. We don't want it too salty. And I think I'm gonna put a little oregano in here. And this is all in a plastic bag, or if you have a container, you can use a container too. But just make sure that you just make sure that it's a little wet so that the seasonings it'll stick to the oyster mushrooms. And then you just kind of mix it all up. And we're gonna do this before we add the flour. Now you can use any flour that you want, but the flour, because I'm gluten-free and there's only certain flours that I can use, I'm going to use some garbanzo bean flour. So I'm just gonna throw some of that, and you see, in the bag. Didn't really measure because you just want it to coat all of, and you see how the bag just kind of turned white. So you just want to make sure it's all the way coated, like all of them are coated. And if you use a container, like a little glass Pyrex container, which is probably, you know, which is a little bit more environmentally friendly, that's okay. So I'm just going to shake. I seal the bag up and I'm just going to shake it. I'm gonna shake it. So that's that. So I'm just gonna leave this right here. So now, while we're waiting on the cast iron skillet to get hot, I'm just leave it in the flour, just like that. So now I am going to prepare the gravy. This is going to be interesting because, like I said, I usually use the Taft flour, So what I'm going to do is I am going to heat up some water with some seasonings. So of course, naturally, I cook with the water, spring water, not tap water. So I'm just going to put a little seasonings in there. And I have found that tarragon is the best seasoning for gravy. So I'm going to take some tarragon, stick it right in. Hopefully that's not too much. Stick it right in there. Take some onion powder, because like I said, I put onion powder on everything. Take some onion powder. Now I will say with thyme, I just use a little bit. I'm going to use a pinch of thyme. A pinch of thyme. And a little oregano. Oh, that was more than a little. Sorry guys. So I'm going to take my wooden spoon and I am just going to stir these seasonings up. I may add a little bit more water, but I also, because when I do the gravy, I put the flour in water so that way it can melt down and it won't be so clumpy when I put it in the water. So I'm going to get a bowl or a cup, doesn't matter, and I am going to start with the gravy. So what I do is I just I'm going to take some 1 teaspoon of garbanzo bean flour and maybe 2 teaspoons of well, maybe 1 teaspoon of buckwheat. We'll see how that what type of flour that makes. And I'm experimenting, so you're learning just like I'm learning. So I'm going to put some water in here just so we can get this nice and not lumpy at all. So the idea for the gravy is to get the mix, it's watery, and we can always add more flour if it's not the right, if it doesn't get thick in the pot. So here we go. We're letting that, get hot right now. So while that's getting hot, then before I add this mixture into there, the oil should be hot for the oyster mushrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out so I can put the oyster mushrooms onto the skillet so I can cook those. The kale chips are ready, and I had to, I took them out, and as you can see, they're crunchy, and that's what you want, is the crunch. So they're like chips, but they're kale. So let me taste one. Excellent. So these are the kale chips. I took those out of the oven, so they'll be sitting right here cooling. So that's nice and hot, so I'm just going to go ahead and place the oyster mushrooms onto the skillet. So this is how I place the oyster mushrooms on the skillet, and you can kind of hear the grease cooking it. So I'm going to stick this back in the oven on the top shelf so it can cook. So the water's boiling. I think I may need to add this is water here. So we're gonna take and add this into the mixture. And I am going to, sorry guys, I'm trying to hold it. I'm gonna stir that in so I can make my gravy. And like I said, you can add more water, add more flour, and this is getting thick fast, as you can see. So it's gravy just like Mama used to make. Add a little water in there. Trying to do this with one hand. Stir it some more. I wish you can smell this. It smells delicious. Yeah, This is going to be nice gravy. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more water. And just stir. And I did add a pinch of salt. I think I forgot to add that before. So I did add a pinch of salt. So we're just going to stir that. And I think I'm going to turn this down and just let this simmer a bit. This is a good consistency for gravy. And you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. But I think that's a good consistency for me. So I'm going to turn this down to low and let it simmer. And then we're going to check on the burros. Now with the burros, you can see that it was green and now it's changed colors. So I am going to go to test them. I just kind of poke to see where they're at. This is still a little tough, so I'll let it boil some more. If the water goes down in your steamer, you just add more water. Just add more water. So I'm gonna let that steam some more. This is doing fine. It's kind of simmering. Like I said, it smells delicious. And if you notice that the color on the burros, they turn like a different color, if you can see that. They were like kind of green, like this, and from steaming, they turn to that. So now I have to get the oysters because I need to flip them. So I'll just, I don't know if you can see or not, but I'll take the fork and I'll just kind of flip them a little bit. So just take, and you can take it out or flip it while it's in the oven, but I'm going to turn this off so I can flip them. I almost forgot to cut my onion and add that to the gravy. So while we're waiting on all that to, yeah, I probably waste a lot of onion, but oh well. While we're waiting on that, I can add some onion to my gravy. And I like nice thin slices. And then I'll just separate it. I don't know what's with me with onion and onion powder and just onion, 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 onion. So I usually just take that and separate the onions and just add it on in there. It'll cook down. Stir it up a little bit. And there. And there's the onions inside of the gravy. It looks delish. Now I had some leftover, sorry guys. I had some leftover oyster mushrooms. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take this whole package, and you know what, believe it or not, you can freeze this. So I'm just gonna like make it so that it's just all lying down and not clumped up together, and put it in the freezer, and that way tomorrow or the day after that, or any day, if I want, I can just take it out and just stick it in the skillet and it will bake in the oven. So we're just gonna stick that in the oven. I am going to test the burros one more time. So the burros are ready, they're nice and soft. So I'm gonna turn the fire off. And what I'm gonna do, because this is gonna be really hot and it's gonna be hard to peel hot, I'm going to stick them in this bowl so that way they can cool down. So I'm just going to put those in this bowl right here so they can kind of cool down a little bit. So the burros are right here. I'm just going to transfer it to the table, and I'll show you how to make your mashed burros. So, like I said, the gravies is looking great. It's still kind of simmering. And looks like the oyster mushrooms are just about done, so just stay tuned. I'm gonna let the burros cool down, and then I am going to show you how to peel them and to mash them. So it's just like a potato. So just stay tuned, guys. The burros, I'm sorry, not burros. The oyster mushrooms are done. So I'm going to take those out of the oven and let those cool down before serving. They look delicious. Smells amazing in here. So these are the oyster mushrooms. And you see how it did not stick to the skillet at all? So it's just, you know, putting a little grease on the bottom, letting it get hot, and then putting them on there. So let's go ahead and do the burros. So hopefully it's cooled down enough. So what I would usually do is I'll take the burro and just kind of slice it to take the skin off. And it's still a little hot, and that's okay. So can you see that? So we're just going to peel that skin off as carefully as we can, because like I said, it is still hot. And then we'll take the skin and put that aside. Take the second one, because you see how soft it is. The fork just goes right through. So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit, just so that the skin, that way the skin will just kind of peel back. Whoop, that's hot. Whoop. Be careful. And then we'll do the last one. Just kind of take that skin off as carefully as possible. Depending on how much time you have, you can let that cool off some more. Just all depends on you. Woo, hot. So I'm going to take and throw the skin away because I'm going to use the bowl for the burros. So I'm just going to take this and remove all the little floofy stuff, little strings, and you just mash it. And you can mash this in the bowl, or you can mash it on your cutter. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but there are seeds in this banana, and the original banana, they had very large seeds in them, so you can see the seeds. Let's get a little closer. Can you see those seeds right there? Yep, seeds, life. Okay, so just gonna mash these up some, then I'm gonna stick them in the bowl, add some seasoning, and I had some hemp milk that was already prepared in the refrigerator. So just gonna shake my hemp milk up, and actually because putting the hemp milk in is gonna cool it down some, you can actually stick this back in a pot to cook it down. So like I said, it's just like mashed potatoes. So if you have a potato masher, you can mash it like that. But you see how soft it is? It's just like a potato. It's exactly like a potato, and that's what it's gonna mimic. So I'm gonna transfer this into one of my pots so I can add the milk, mash it down some, and then add the seasonings. Be right back. I transferred the mashed burros to a another cast iron skillet. It's kind of deep, so it mimics like a pot. So I'm going to add some hemp milk to it. And I apologize for not measuring, but it's just like making mashed potatoes. So if you've ever made mashed potatoes before, you know, you add a little milk, you stir it up, you know, make sure it's mashed real well. This could have been mashed a little bit more, so I may just, you know, mash it down a little bit more. Sprinkle some seasoning, that's a little salt. Once again, there's the onion powder. And I'm gonna add a little black seed. No cayenne, we're just gonna kind of keep this basic, because I'm gonna add gravy to it as well. So I'm going to turn this on low, just so I can kind of get it the consistency of mashed potatoes. And I don't think I have my masher, my potato masher. So I'm just gonna use the fork just to get some of the lumps out. So be right back. So I got a lot of the lumps out, and depending on how you like your mashed potatoes, you may want them a little more wet, you may want them a little more creamy, and you can always stick them in the food processor to blend it up just to get it a little creamier if you like. You could add more hemp milk if you want. It just depends on you. And notice we don't use any butter. We're gonna put gravy on top of it. So I'm just gonna let this warm up just a little bit. Just, you know, take the chill out of it from having the hemp milk in there. So that's all I'm doing, is just taking the chill out of it. Just so it's not, you know, like really cold, because the hemp milk was in the refrigerator. I didn't set it out for it to get room temperature. But as you can see, this looks just like mashed potatoes. Just like mashed potatoes. See? Just like mashed potatoes. So this is what I do when I cook. This is how I cook during the weekday, weekend, it doesn't matter. I have to eat to live. So I am going to cook the food that gives me life and gives me energy and not all lethargic after I eat it. It takes some time and preparation, but I went to the store today. I decided this is what I wanted to eat, and then I prepped it. And I started a little after 6 o'clock, and it's like 7:18, so it's not any different than making a meal with meat or any of the other stuff that you have to make. So I don't, you know, it just, I don't know, it's not really that hard. It really isn't hard. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I am so goofy. I don't know what's wrong with me. But this has been another Electric GiGi demonstration, cooking, whatever. Can you see my spices in the back? Okay, guys, I have to show you this. Oh, wait a minute. Let me fix my hat. You know, I'm trying to be all cool and stuff. So let me show you my spices. I don't know if you can see this. Hold on. It's gonna be too dark. It's gonna be too dark because it's just dark.